जिंदा में लोरी सकीना सो रही है। ना मारेगा कोई भी तमाचे, ना होंगे फिर से ये रुखसार नीले। गला बांधा न जाएगा रसल में, फातिहा। बानों से दम बदम ये सकीना कथा बयां। कैसा मकान है क्या वहाँ तक नहीं जहाँ, कैसा मकान है क्या वहाँ तक नहीं। देखूंगी किस तरह से भला शक्ल आसमां है जमीन तक नजर आती नहीं, है जमीन तक नजर आती नहीं। अम्मा सभा की जान खुदा ही बचाएगा। शब को भी क्या चराग जलाया न जाएगा, शब को भी क्या चराग जलाया न जाएगा। ऐसी ही तेरगी है तो बस हो चुकी हयात। मैं जानती हूँ आज की शब को शबे वफात। सोते थे लेके सीने पाक बाबा तमाम रात। आदत मेरी बिगाड़ गए शायख सिफात। जब शमा गुल हुई है तो घबरा के रोई हूँ। अम्मा भला कभी मैं अंधेरे में सोई हूँ। अम्मा भला कभी मैं अंधेरे में सोई हूँ। अम्मा भला कभी मैं अंधेरे में सोई हूँ। माँ बेटी में जहाँ थी गमंगेज दास्तां। आई पहर के बजने की आवाज ना गहा। होशियार भाइयों ये पुकारे निगाह बां। भागे असीर तो ना बचेगी, भागे असीर तो ना बचेगी किसी की जान। तड़पे दिलार हब्स जो दहे चंद हो गया। जिंदा का अदालत की तरह, जिंदा का अदालत की तरह बंद हो गया। तदबीर माने की पै तस्किया जा बजा। उस रात की तरह से बड़ा दम बदम तब रोने में कट गई जो सकीना को निस्फ़े शब। नाचारों के गोद में लेटी हो खुश लगा, नाचारों के गोद में लेटी हो खुश लगा। सुस्ती कमाल खातिरे नाजुक पा छा गई। बातें जो मानेगी तो जरा, बातें जो मानेगी तो जरा नींद आ गई। सोई थी कोई दम के बंधा सुओं कतार। देखा ये ख्वाब आए हैं सुल्तान नामदार। फैलाए हाथ ढूंढती उठी वो दिल फिगार। झुक झुक के देखती, झुक झुक के देखती यार एक सिमत बार। कहती थी हाय गजब का अंधेरा जिया। बाबा किधर खड़े हो मुझे सोचता नहीं, बाबा किधर खड़े हो मुझे सोचता नहीं। थे समारा यतीम के बातों पनाहगार। रोते थे पासबान भी मुँह ढाप ढाप कर। नागा गई यजीद को इस हाल की खबर। मछली हुई है दुख्तर सुल्तान, मछली हुई है दुख्तर सुल्तान पर। फरियाद कर रही है अजब इस्तिरार है। बाबा को देखने के लिए बेकरार। ले जाओ फर्क शाह ये बोला सियाहरू। लेकर सरे हुसैन रवाना हुए अदू। थी राह में चमक सरे अनवर की 400। जिंदा के पास जाके जो जिगे सोने, जिंदा के पास जाके जो जिगे सोने। सैदानियों में हशर हुआ सब उलट गई। जिंदा के दर से आगे सके नाले, जिंदा के दर से आगे सके नाले, जिंदा के दर से आगे सके नाले बढ़। बैठी ज़मीं पा लेके सकीना सरे इमाम, मूरक्के मुपा खूब के उनके कलाम, गश आ गया के लाई खजा मौत का पयाम, लिपटी सरे पे दर्द की चीज जब रगे तम, लिपटी सरे पे दर्द की चीज जब रगे तम, थामू पामू के जेस का नक्शा बदल, हिचकी बसे काय वही दम निकल गया, हिचकी बसे काय वही दम निकल गया। देखी जो नब्ज रोने लगे आबिदे हजी, माँ ने कहा तड़प के मुझे ताब अब नहीं, जो हाल हो खुदा के लिए कह चुको कहीं, सज्जा सर झुका के बोलेगे, सज्जा सर झुका के बोलेगे, सज्जा सर झुका के बोलेगे मर गए। तकलीफ दीजिए ना तने पाश पाश को, जल्दी लिटाइए के अजियत लाश को, जल्दी लिटाइए के अजियत लाश को। सदके गए हुआ इस अंधेरे में इंतकाल, बेटी ये दाग दिल से ना जाएगा माहो साल, फिजा ने पासबानों से जाकर किया सवाल, दे दो कोई चराग तो एहसान है कमाल, दे दो कोई चराग तो एहसान, दे दो कोई चराग तो एहसान, हो रोशनी ये रस्म है सारे जहां, मैयत पड़े हुए अंधेरे मकान में, मैयत पड़े हुए अंधेरे मकान में।
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात। One quick announcement: tonight after Hussaini program, there is a house majlis scheduled at the residence of Brother Mazhar Tabrizi in Carroll Stream. All Mu'min are requested to please attend it. This majlis is going to be addressed by Maulana Sayyid Muntazir Mehdi. Bar Muhammad Wali Muhammad Salawat. Tonight is the first majlis of these 5 majalis series through Sunday night. All these majalis are going to be addressed by our respected guest speaker, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli from London, UK. On behalf of IEC management, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli for accepting our invitation and being here for these nights. Please recite a loud salawat for Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli is no new name to IEC community. He is an internationally renowned Islamic speaker and researcher who has delivered hundreds of lectures on various Islamic themes such as morality, spirituality, and Quranic sciences. He has presented talks across many countries from the US, Canada, and the Middle East. Sheikh Al-Hilli is particularly passionate in presenting the peaceful message of Islam to the world, encouraging dialogue and coexistence amongst different communities. He regularly lectures at Islamic Center as well as university across the UK, and he is active in providing activities for the youth. Recently, he has published a book, Arba'in the Walk, and I actually read it, and it's very intriguing, informative, and insightful. This book is available for purchase at IEC for $15 per copy. On Friday, after the program at 9:30, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli is going to be present here. He's going to give a small, short presentation about the book, and he's going to be available for book signing. All Mu'minin and Mu'minat are requested to please attend the program in this upper hall, in the old building. For Muhammad Wali Muhammad Salawat. And now I kindly request Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli to the member, please say a loud salawat.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله والحمد حقه كما يستحقه حمدا كثيرا. وأعوذ به من شر نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المطهرين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. السلام عليك سيدي ومولاي يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم وهو أحسن القائلين وأصدق الصادقين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قيل لكم تفسحوا في المجالس فافسحوا يفسح الله لكم، وإذا قيل انشزوا فانشزوا يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the purification of the souls, the enlightenment of the hearts, for the hastening of the reappearance of the awaited Savior, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, enlighten your souls and the atmosphere with the recitation of salawat upon Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, Salamun Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi Ta'ala wa Barakatuh. One of the most important aspects in our lives as the followers of the Ahl al-Bayt, a trend that we see intensifying and increasing all around the world, something that you and I have indeed grown up with, and indeed it's become part and parcel of our lives, is the majalis of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. In that you only need to look at our annual calendar, whereby people on Thursday nights attend the majlis. When it comes to the remembrance of the Ahl al-Bayt's martyrdoms, they attend majalis. When it comes to Muharram and Safar, they attend majalis. When it comes to houses and places that people often hold these gatherings, there are majalis. If you look around the world, there are majalis that are being held. Whether it's in places like Mexico, or for example Chile, or for instance South Africa or Ghana, or you look at for example Bangladesh or Thailand, these countries and many more, you recognize that the majalis of Imam al-Hussein are today a fantastic phenomena that have gripped indeed many people and continue indeed to increase by number. There is no doubt about the importance of these gatherings, of course. There is no doubt in our minds about the significance of these majalis that are held in the remembrance of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhum as-salam. And it's truly a blessing and a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you and I are able to attend in these gatherings. You and I are able to enrich our understanding of the religion, purify our hearts, illuminate our souls with the inspirational references towards the holy Ahl al-Bayt alayhum as-salam. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we truly must be grateful to. Because I remember one of the scholars saying that he went to Finland, in the Scandinavian country in Europe. He said, I recited the 12 nights of Majalis of Muharram. When I finished, I went to explore some of the areas, some of the mountainous regions. When I went to explore, we need to increase the volume, please. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When I went to explore regarding this, I recognized with a friend of mine that I was visiting a few places. And when I realized that it was time to leave, it was dark. We were not sure where we were. We were driving in different areas. He said, we decided to stop in the closest village, in the closest area, to go and seek for direction. So when I went to that village, what happens? He said, there were only a few houses in that village. And one thing that drew our attention was that one of the houses, on one of its windows of the house, there was a flag that said on it, Ya Abul Fadl al-Abbas. That in itself brought about this realization that he says, tears came to my eyes. That at that moment I looked up and says, Ya Hussein, even in the mountainous regions of Finland, there is your remembrance. Yes, that is something that is truly established in many places. When it comes to this concept of majalis and the establishment of majalis and the importance of majalis in our lives, there is a question that people ask is this concept found in the Quran or not? Is the word majlis mentioned in the Quran or not? What does it actually refer to? And how does the system within the teachings of the religion of Islam look at the whole concept of majalis? Because I tell you, sometimes we need to look at the Quran to understand that we may have looked at certain elements in our lives in a very limited way. We may not have explored all the options that exists that the Quran speaks about when it comes to certain ideas and practices. Let me give you an example. When somebody does a good deed for us, often, and please pay attention because I am pretty sure and I'm confident that most of us have not heard this before. This might be a new revelation for most of us, yes? When somebody does a good deed for us, often we respond back by saying, Jazakallah. Yes? Don't we do that? People say, Jazakallah, yes? The Quran comes forward and says, that is not enough. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, what does He say? Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. To Allah belongs the heavens and the earth. لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا بِمَا عَمِلُوا وَيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. Allah says, to Allah belongs whatever's in the heavens and the earth, so that He gives jaza to those wrongdoers because of their wrong, and gives jaza for those who are righteous because of their good. So the word in the Quran that's used is jaza for both good and bad. So that means when you and I say to someone, Jazakallah, it means this: may Allah give you what you deserve. That's what it means. What should we be saying? It is no problem by saying Jazakallah because our intention is good. But the perfect way or the correct method is to say Jazakallahu khaira. Yes. Because the Quran says the word jaza is used for bad and jaza is used for good. So when I say Jazakallah, I am leaving it. God help you. You know, you may get good, you may get bad, depending on your intention, which sometimes is a good idea because we don't know if somebody's done it for the right reasons, yes? But out of training oneself to pray, it's a dua to say, Jazakallahu khaira, may Allah reward you with abundant goodness, yes? And this is a beautiful way. So, if, for example, this is something that we may reflect upon when it comes to the Holy Quran and seek to apply it to our lives. This idea and this notion of majalis comes within the system or within the teachings and the ethos of the Quran, which is referred to adab, etiquettes. What do we mean? We mean that in Islam there is akhlaq, morals, and there is adab, etiquettes. there is a distinct difference. What's the difference between akhlaq and adab? Akhlaq is how we conduct ourselves. Adab is superior akhlaq, meaning that which is highly recommended to apply and inculcate in our existence, which becomes second nature, which makes our conduct even better than what we seek to achieve. So in many acts within the religion of Islam, there are adab, there are etiquettes. And in this day and age, sadly, we are missing the recommendation or the push or the encouragement towards you and I developing a system of etiquettes in our lives, whether it comes to sleeping, whether it comes to drinking, whether it comes to talking with others, whether it comes to, for example, communicating with the elders, whether it comes to attending majalis. All this has adab. All this has a system of etiquettes which have been passed on to us by the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam. When we grasp these etiquettes, we will maximize the benefit that is present for us, and we will turn a deed which is rewarding or perhaps just allowed into one which is rewarding by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that mean? For example, everything that you and I do, which is to sleep. We go to sleep every night, yes? When it comes to Islamic teachings, we are told that in terms of turning the sleep towards ibadah, there are a number of things we can do. If we were to go to sleep, we need to be in the state of wudu. That will turn the bed that we sleep on into a mosque in which Allah is worshipped. Just an act of wudu. We are told to recite Surah Alhaakumut Takathur Hatta Zurtumul Maqabir before going to sleep. For example, Surah Al-Qadr before going to sleep. For example, to try to make sure that the direction that we sleep is facing the Qibla. For example, to make sure we say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitan Ar-Rajim before we go to sleep. For example, the A'imma alayhim as-salam would say, make sure you recite Tasbihat Fatimatu Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. We need to develop this when it comes to our habits, yes, to develop etiquettes in our lives, which will indeed bring us much reward and will highlight to us a significant contribution that we can make towards our development and towards the enhancement of the soul. In terms of majalis, indeed, they have a very important role to play in our lives. And they have transformed the lives of so many people. I tell you that this encouragement of majalis that we see and we witness in the terms of narrations, our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, in one narration would say to the people, أَتَجْلُسُونَ وَتَتَحَدَّثُونَ? Do you sit and listen and let someone speak in terms of our fada'il, in terms of our teachings? They said, Bala ya ibn Rasulullah, we do. He says, I love these majalis. Innani uhibbu tilka al-majalis. Ahyu amrana, rahimallahu man ahya amrana. Revive our affairs. May Allah revive the hearts of those who revive our affairs. Yes, that is the direction of the Imams alayhim as-salam, that come to majalis, attend majalis. You will benefit greatly from these majalis. Now I tell you, there are people who have truly enabled these majalis to make this remarkable change in their lives and have maximized the benefit in many ways. I remember reading in one of the Middle Eastern countries, a non-Shia country, there was a young man who was fond of attending majalis, listening to majalis. In every opportunity, he will be there. One day at school, because he was known as the Shia, he was ridiculed, he was mocked. People would laugh at him because others were not. And they would say to him, you Shias celebrate a day by the name of Ghadir excessively. There is no need to celebrate a day in which the Prophet declared, they said, Ali to be his friend. Why would you celebrate this day? Why would you consider it a Eid? This is exaggeration. This is not part of religion. So he would wait for the right moment. In the systems in the Middle East, and I remember when I was growing up in Iran, this was the same thing, that the teacher normally appoints, when they normally go out to bring some papers or make photocopies or do something. They make sure that they keep someone to be in charge of the classroom in the few minutes that they go, yes? So they keep someone there, they say, oh, you know, everyone listen to him. or her, and make sure that and that person is responsible to keep the class order. They go, they come back after 10 minutes to ensure that everything is okay. So, one occasion, the teacher made this young man as what? As the caretaker, so to speak, as the one who will look after the class for a few minutes. So the teacher goes, this man does this job, the teacher comes back. This young man, when the teacher says to him, now, very well, go and sit down. He doesn't just sit down. He uses the opportunity. He says to the teacher, he says, sir, can I ask you a question? He said, yes. He said, you and everyone else mock me and my followers and my people, the Shia, for the celebration of Ghadir. But let me ask you a question. You went for 10 minutes and you did not wish to leave the class without someone in charge or someone to run the affairs. How does Allah leave mankind and Islam without appointing a successor to Rasulullah? In terms of the intellect, that makes a lot of sense. The teacher was very angry. He said to him, how dare you teach me? I am teaching you. You teaching me? You are suspended. Go to the head teacher. So he goes to the head teacher's office. Head teacher hears this story. He says, tomorrow I want you to bring your wali. Now in Arabic, you know, the wali means someone in charge of you. Yes? So in Arabic it's very commonly used. I want your waliyul amr. Means the one who's look after you, either your parents or someone who's in charge of you. Yes? Looking after your affairs. Tomorrow you bring your wali and you come. Next day, this man, this young boy came, knocked on the door of the head teacher. The teacher says, come in. He came in by himself. He looked at him and says, where is your wali? He said, oh, sorry, he's just outside. And he then asked his friend to come in. When his friend came in, the teacher was angry. He said, how dare you? I asked you to bring your wali. This young man said, but I thought you said wali means friend. Man kuntu mawlah is friend. So I brought my friend. This man said, no, I meant wali as the one who is in charge and has authority over you. This man said, that is what we say, that when Rasulullah lifted the hands of Ali, said, man kuntu mawlah, fahadha aliyun mawlah, whomsoever I have authority, Ali is the one who has authority over. Therefore, what do we find? We find that sometimes these majalis, when I am attending a majlis, I hear these stories. I'm able to connect. I'm able to utilize them when it comes to discussions, when it comes to education, when it comes to improving my own knowledge in terms of the teachings of the religion. The question here, therefore, is, has this concept of majalis been mentioned in the Quran or not? Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned a number of references to gatherings in terms of adab and etiquettes, and has mentioned the word majalis too. In terms of etiquettes, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala has said that when it comes to certain gatherings, make sure you greet people. The Quran says, make sure you greet each other. And if somebody's greeted, you must return the greeting in a better way. The Quran says, yes? In which way? Sometimes today we see, because we live in a society which may not understand what we are saying, or somehow when we pick up the phone and somebody on the other line says, Salamun alaykum, we often feel the need to what? Not necessarily reply if we are in the presence of non-Muslims. The Quran says no, the reply is wajib, and it is better even to increase the reply by saying wa alaykum as-salami wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes? Now, yes, you might say I don't want to increase the reply in terms of the presence of others, but we must be able to be comfortable to ensure that this particular reference or the response of the salam is something that we practice in our day-to-day lives, no doubt about it. Do you know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it wajib for you and I? Do you know why it's become a symbol or a slogan of the Muslims to greet each other with salam? Because number one, Jannah is known as Darus Salam in the Quran. Number two, Allah says the most common statement mentioned in Jannah from the Malaika and from the people of paradise is Salamun alaykum. Allah wants you and I to prepare for Jannah from now. He wants us to get ready. That's why He says greet each other with the greeting of the people of paradise. That is what a training, a system of readiness for ultimate reward. Yes? Number one. Number two, the Quran says to us that when it comes to the Holy Prophet, he used to have in his house majalis or gatherings. He would invite people, they would ask him questions, then they would eat. The Quran says the Prophet would be asked certain questions in these gatherings where it has no value. the questions were irrelevant. The questions were not necessarily beneficial, yes? People would ask the questions to the Holy Prophet just for the sake of asking a question. They did for Amir al-Mu'mineen in the same. He would come forward and say, Saluni qabla an tafqiduni. And somebody would say, give me the number of hairs that exist on my head, yes? Or on my, yes, beard, yes? The idea therefore exists, and that is the Quran saying, be careful what you ask for. Ask, but be careful that the intention for the asking is the correct or the right one. Because I remember one of the ulama said one day, I was sitting in a question answer session, somebody asked a question. Maulana Sahib, what was the food and the walima that was presented at the wedding of Adam and Hawa? What did they eat? Maulana said, I'm sorry, I wasn't invited. I don't know. I'm not sure, you know. Sometimes we ask questions that are not really relevant in that regard, yes? The idea therefore is what? Is that the Quran says be careful what you ask for. That's number 2. Number 3, the Quran in chapter 58 verse number 11 tells us of an important etiquette when it comes to majalis. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha qila lakum tafassahu fil majalisi fafsahu. What does this mean? O you who believe, and this has got a cause of revelation. What is the cause of revelation? This cause of revelation is that the Prophet of Islam, Rasul al-A'zam Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was one day giving a sermon in an area in Masjid al-Nabawi known as Saffa. It's a raised place where the poor would sit. So he was giving a sermon, but it was packed. There was no space to sit. All of a sudden, a group of Sahaba, they come in, they want to sit, but there's no space for them. So the Prophet of Islam, in his sermon, he stops. He says to the people, please make space. Just, squeeze a bit or move to the side. Let these people, these Muslims who have come, let them sit. Yes. But most people did not. Very few people moved. Yes. Some of the munafiqeen who were there began to spread rumors. They began to say, these people, why are they coming late? It's their fault. Why should we be uncomfortable? Why should we be sitting in a tight position when these people have come late? It's their fault. Have you heard this recently in our times as well? History repeats itself. Yes, no doubt. Yes, sometimes we have the similar mentality, isn't it? Yes. Then the Quran says, the Prophet said to them, okay, stand up. Let there be standing up so that at least there'll be more space. These munafiqeen and others who had weakness in their hearts, you know what they said? They said, this amazing. The Prophet, how can he stop their sermon? It's not befitting. How can you stop a lecture, a speech, just to make people sit in a tight or to make space for others? Allah revealed the verse about it in the Quran. And sometimes you and I may belittle something, but in the eyes of Allah could be great. You and I may think it's not significant, but in the eyes of Allah is very important. Yes? What do you mean? Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, idha qila lakum tafassahu fil majalis, fafsahu. Oh, you believe, when the Prophet says to you, or anyone says to you, make space in the majalis, make space. Why? Do you know why? The Quran says, yafsahillahu lakum. Allah will make space for you. Question, what does that mean? What does it, Allah make space for us mean? Ulama have said one of two things. Number one, will give you more rizq and sustenance. Means He will broaden and widen your rizq in dunya. And number two, not only in dunya, He will broaden our rizq in akhirah, which means Jannah. So Allah says, be a little bit more uncomfortable. Place happiness in the heart of your brother or sister, and I will reward you with more rizq in dunya and Jannah in akhirah. And you might think that is nothing, yes? But notice how the ones who will be comfortable at least were able to sit down, will feel a sense of relief, will feel a sense of their request being fulfilled. In the eyes of God, indeed, to place happiness in the hearts of believers is something great. It's something highly rewarding. It's something great, very beneficial. Yes? Therefore, what do we find? We find the Quran says, make sure you do that. وَإِذَا قِيلًا انشُزُوا فَانشُزُوا. And when it says to you, stand up, you need to stand up. Why? يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Subhanallah. After talking about etiquettes of majalis, Quran immediately says, if you stand up, Allah will raise those amongst you who have two qualities. Number one, Iman. Number two, ilm. He will raise them high statuses. Yes. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala here is saying, in a majlis, these two must be gained. In a majlis, you and I must leave the majlis with these two more stronger in our lives. In which way? That the criteria for the benefit of a majlis, no doubt, has to be that we get closer to Allah and our knowledge of the religion is better. This starts with the speaker or the alim, whoever it is that is giving the sermon, as well as the congregation. Meaning that the Quran gives us a beautiful direction that we must seek as far as attaining as much benefit from these majalis is concerned, and that is to seek that iman, that strength of belief, as well as empower ourselves with the necessary knowledge required for us to excel in life. That is why when it comes to these majalis, what do we told? We are told the majalis of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Have themselves a number of etiquettes, seeking inspiration from the Holy Quran, as well as the teachings of the Ahl al-Bayt. Because how many times in our lives we attend these majalis, but we need to be able to keep a number of factors in our minds. Yes, these factors are critical for us to ensure that we are true ambassadors of the religion of Islam and the school of Ahl al-Bayt, that the sacredness and the sanctity of these majalis are preserved and upheld by each and every one of us, that we begin to appreciate that they are not just normal gathering, they are gatherings that are beloved to the Ahl al-Bayt. They are gatherings that the Imma used to emphasize upon. They are gatherings that the Imma themselves started. They are gatherings our ulama today say, look after them, protect them, support them, attend them. In which way? We find one marja, Ayatullah Bahjat, rahmatullahi alayhi. Do you know what he says? He says the majalis of Imam al-Hussein everywhere around the world are the extension from the haram of Imam in Karbala. And every person who attends a majlis of Hussein is in effect Za'ir of Aba Abdullah. He says, when you attend the majlis, you're doing ziyarah of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Yes? So when you and I are doing this ziyarah, is of great importance. Ayatullah Mar'ashi Najafi, Ridwanullahi ta'ala, another great marja' al-taqleed, passed away in the 90s. He has one of the biggest libraries today in Qom. This great marja', you know what he says? He says, when I die, in his wasiyah, please bury with me the handkerchief that I carried with me to the majalis of Aba Abdullah. And I used to what? Wipe the tears for Hussein. Yes. Such handkerchief, he believes, will be of great benefit. No doubt when it comes to what? When it comes to these majalis. Similarly, we find what? We find this great scholar by the name of Sayyid Qadim al-Qazwini, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. He's written so many books when it comes to the Ahl al-Bayt alayhum as-salam. He was fond of the majalis. He was himself an individual who would give majalis. He says on his wasiyah, he says, when you bury me with one particular book that I wrote and I delivered majalis on about the life of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. He said, place that book on my body when it comes to burial. He was buried in the what? In the 1990s in Iran. He had a request. He said, please one day, if possible, transfer my body to Karbala. Take my body next to Hussein. At that time, it was not possible. It was not possible to take bodies of scholars and well-known individuals because of the wretched dictatorship regime in Iraq. In 2003, when the regime was collapsed by Allah's permission, and through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, when that wretched regime were defeated, his family decided to do and execute his will. So they went and asked the ulama and maraja, is it okay? Because normally you're not allowed unless you have permission to take out a body from the grave. They said, is it okay that we do that? The marja gave permission. Yes, so they came. The video is available on YouTube for anyone who disputes this. They opened the grave. At least after 10 or 15 years of this scholar who had passed away, they opened the grave and they saw his body completely intact with the book on Sayyida Fatima still on his chest. How can the earth, yes, touch a body of a person who remembers Hussein and the majalis of Hussein and the fada'il of Zahra? Yes. Indeed, this is something that we find that is indeed present. Question is, what are the etiquettes? How do we approach these majalis? The first one, and it is not a comprehensive list, but some of the points for us to keep in mind. The first is what? We must attend the majalis, and speakers, and those who do it at home, and every single person associated with the majlis must do it solely 100% for the sake of Allah. There must be ikhlas and sincerity wholeheartedly. The majlis must be presented for the sake of God and God alone. It must not be for the sake of others. It must not be because of competition with others. In some places I've been, I heard somebody saying, I'm going to do a majlis in my house because this man, this other brother did a majlis, and mashallah, his majlis was so big. He gave biryani, I will give biryani and another thing. There is that competition that goes on to make sure the majlis is bigger. That is a problem, because that means we are not establishing these majalis for the correct purpose. Our intention must be pure. Our ikhlas must be present. It is entirely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is one of the secrets of Hussein. Hussein gave everything for Allah. He gave his heart solely for Allah. Today Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has given Hussein the hearts of mankind. That is a secret of Abu Abdullah. His university was founded on the principles of ikhlas. Everything about him was sincerely for the sake of Allah, and therefore his remembrance and his majalis must be in the same way. Number one. Number two, the way we dress, the way we present ourselves. Brothers and sisters, these areas of gathering of majalis, they are sacred. They may be attended by the holy 12th Imam, Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Which means that we must be honoring these gatherings, which means we must be presented in the manner that is suitable for these gatherings, no doubt, yes? And number three of great importance, and this is a delicate point that requires our attention, and that is what? And that is, we must be able to look at ourselves introspectively and ask a very critical question. How am I different from one majlis to another? How am I different from one year to another? Last Muharram, I was blessed to attend majalis. Safar, I was blessed to attend majalis. This year, am I a different person? Positively, am I a better person? For example, am I documenting and recording and learning from what is being presented? Because many times we unfortunately love the passive taking of knowledge. No doubt, yes? Many times with no mind sitting in front of the television and watching something. If someone would say to us, can you please write something, or would you like to sit there and watch? Most of us would watch. We don't want to write, because write is a bit of a strenuous, difficult aspect. It needs some effort. Whereas watching doesn't require much effort. Yes? That is the nature of humans. Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, 1400 years ago, what does he say? He said, when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to teachings, make sure you write. At that time, writing was harder than today. Today we have our cell phones. Today we have many means of documenting. It is of the utmost importance that we make notes. It is the utmost importance that when we go back from a majlis, we discuss amongst the family. What did you learn? What did you not understand? How did you elaborate? Is there any clarification that is needed? Let me tell you this. Wallah, what I'm about to say to you is true, and I am responsible for it, because I personally sat with a brother who is Shia. He used to be, sadly, a few months ago in London. He says, I don't believe in God anymore. And he has sadly developed and taken on the bad and the unacceptable practice of homosexuality. So he has sat there in front of me. I said to him, why? He was 24 years of age. I said to him, why? What's happened? Why are you not believing in God anymore? He said, I used to attend majalis, but I had a number of questions. The Mulana would say, first of all, he said, I used to hear majalis, I didn't understand. It was not in English. Then, when there were English majalis, I used to have questions about them. I used to go home. I asked my mother and father. They used to say to me, don't question the Maulana. Whatever he says is true. I said, fine, but can you tell me why he said this? What this idea means? This doesn't make sense to me. Why would God do this? Yes? For example, he didn't say this, but let me give you an example. Last year I discussed this Khidr story, yes? That Khidr alayhi salam came, 14-year-old boy. He was playing with everyone. Took him, come. Took him to the side, killed him. Now a child will listen to that and say, hold on a minute. This God that you say is merciful. Why is this child being killed? He hasn't done anything wrong, yes? Now, if there is no effort to make sure that the child or the youth is satisfied with the answer, either through contacting the alim, or through researching oneself, or asking learned individuals, what do we find? We find problem after problem, gathering, and the youth becoming influenced later at college, school, or university, and the people will tap on the weakness and those question marks that have not been resolved to try and cause their deviation, to try and distance them away from the school of Ahl al-Bayt or from the religion of Islam or the belief in Allah altogether. That will happen. If we do not make an effort and dedicated time, our families, to sit and to discuss some concepts, some important areas that some of our youngsters may have struggling with or may not have the opportunity. Sadly today, what do we find? We find that in a unit, in a family, yes, the mother and the father are sitting at a table to eat, and the son and the daughter are on their phones. Or everything is in the communication through the phones, yes? Or what? That the time that they have face to face, which is phone free, where phones are banned, has become very little. Yes? And it is of the utmost importance that we don't go with the trend and move along. Yes, everybody's doing that, but no, we have challenges that we have to address. Yes. So in this regard, if we hear a majlis, let's discuss it, let's analyze it, let's look at it, let's look at how we can improve. If there's an area that was said that is ambiguous, let's clarify it. Let's not hide it or brush it under the carpet. That's very important. And also, what other thing is recommended too is the idea of the support, not only in attendance of the majalis, but also in any shape or form, financially, for example, yes. For example, in ensuring that they are established in different places around the world, in any shape or form, yes. I tell you, there are so many narrations, there are so many recommendations of the importance and the benefit that this idea of majlis is sadaqah jariyah, meaning what? It is sadaqah. That means if somebody learns something and improves their lives, you and I will get benefit not only to the day until we die, until the day of judgment, because they will teach their children, and their children will teach their children, and it is ongoing reward. The meter that gives hasanat continues. Why? Because what? Some important knowledge has been passed on from one person to another. Similarly, I remember in Iran, once there was an individual who is quite wealthy. He was presented with a request by a group of people. They wanted to have a majlis. The people said to him, can you please give us some money? We want to establish a majlis of Hussein. He said, fine, no problem. He had a checkbook, yes. He said to them, write however much you want. Those around him said, how could you say that? You're just giving them a blank check. He said, don't worry, this is the majlis of Hussein, yes. Majlis of Abu Abdullah. It's not limited by anything. So he gave them this check. They wrote how much they want. He was wearing glasses. So when he received the check back, he took the glasses out so that he doesn't see how much it is. And he signed it. And he gave it back to them. When he gave it back to them, they went and established a majlis. Later he passed away. One of his family members saw him in his dream. He said, how are you now in Barzakh, in the intermediary life? He says, Alhamdulillah, I am very well. Everything is well. He said, why? What is the greatest deed that you have been rewarded? He said, when I was about to be questioned by the Malaika, they said to me, you did not wear your glasses for Hussein. We will not wear our glasses when it comes to your sins. He may have said it in a poetic way, but the idea exists. And that is what support of these majalis brings great happiness in the hearts of Abu Abdullah and the Holy 12th Imam, and above all to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, and I must talk about this, I know it's a sensitive area and some may not like it, but it must be said. I have a concern going forward in the future based on current research and understanding and speaking to the youth about the ongoing trend of the apathy and laziness when it comes to attendance of the majalis of the Imam. In which way? In the idea that alhamdulillah, today we have a powerful tool which is called live streaming. People are able to watch from home. But it's a double-edged sword. What is it causing? It is causing some to take attendance of the majalis lightly. It is causing some to be lazy in that way that they say, I have come from work, tomorrow I have work, tomorrow I have school, I'm not really bothered. I'll sit in front of the TV, I'll switch on the live streaming. And one brother said, please, can I also have some popcorn with it? Yes? And the idea is what? And that they would watch and not necessarily attend the majlis itself. This is an issue that we must address. We may not necessarily are facing a great deal, a challenge today, but it may be an issue in 10 years' time, yes? Where people start to think that religion of Islam, let us simplify it. Let us make it more simple, because the world today is all about making things simple. So, why should I come all the way attend the majlis? Brother, don't worry. I'm listening. I'm looking at the image, and I am maybe crying and shedding the tear, and I'm learning. I'm at home. I don't need to come. Why should I attend? The youth will say that. They will, yes? Trust me, they will. In the future, they will, if we don't address this issue. Now, is this live streaming a bad thing? It can be. It can be. It must be restricted to only those who need it. Only like those who have young babies, or they really can't make it, elderly, or the ones who are ill or far away and do not have access. Yes, maybe by a password or whatever. But also there must be awareness that a majlis is not only about sitting and listening to what is being said over the internet. The majlis is about actually attending, because the attendance in itself has great benefit in reviving the affairs of the Ahl al-Bayt. Number one. Number two, it has a social benefit. When you sit with other mu'mineen, when you are there together, indeed that brings cohesion, unity, brotherhood. Number three, when you and I do azar, when we mourn, when we cry, when we beat our chest, the whole azadari, this cannot be done at home by oneself or with the family. In attendance together, that spirit is there, yes, of great importance, no doubt. That must not be forgotten. That is of great importance, yes. The idea of being able to assist others. You know, sometimes there are social assistance. When people come from majalis, they have issues, they have problems, they need help, they need assistance. That is also another dimension which is highly important. Similarly, another final element of the etiquettes is that we must not be in the traps of shaitan, because shaitan is disappointed when it comes to majalis. Shaitan knows that it is what? It is a means by which human beings are distancing themselves away from temptations. Yet, he does strike back. And how does he strike back? Sometimes within the majlis itself. Within the majlis itself, yes. There may be a majlis going on, and we may be on our phones, either playing or texting or messaging or whatever. Yes, that's number one. Number two, sometimes what happens is after the majlis itself, we may be gathered, having tea, having tabarruk, and discussing the lives of others. God forbid backbiting, God forbid slandering, God forbid saying wrong that we should not be. Yes, the shaitan strikes back and takes away the thawab that we have attained from the majalis of Hussein. We have to be very careful not to allow the shaitan away back after being enriched with spirituality, after being charged from the majlis of Abu Abdullah, to carry that and to ensure that that helps us on our next day. Yes, on our lives generally. Therefore you find that with this idea, with this remembrance, comes the concept of the majalis. But ultimately, a key aspect of the majalis of Abu Abdullah, and a factor that must never be underestimated and must continue to exist, is the emotional, is the masa'ib, is the recalling of the tragedies of the Ahl al-Bayt. Because why is this important today? Some people might say, do we really need it? Is it something that has to exist? Because in other schools, they don't understand. In the internet, only a few days ago, I saw some people in certain websites. They say, look at these Shia, 1400 years. And still, They are what? They are crying, they are weeping, they are beating their chest. Many people die. Many people have been killed. Yes, it's tragic, but why are you still crying? Why do you still do this? Why and why and why? Yes? Why is this message of Abu Abdullah and through Majalis and Azadari remain? Through this important attachment to emotional expression and grief and mourning. Yes. This element of grief and mourning is crucial. The Quran speaks about it. Let me give you one evidence to rebuttal anyone out there who wants to just disperse and somehow place misconceptions in the minds of people. Yes? What they would say, let's just recall what happened on the 10th by making sure we read it. Or we just say, yeah, that happened. Let's learn something and there's no need for masa'ib. Yes? How do we respond to this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, there are two powers within the human being. There is the power of the intellect and there is the power of the emotion. Yes? These two must be present for conviction and persuasion to happen. When I was doing research about this subject, I found, scientists today have found that there is more likelihood for you to convince someone about something if you use emotion more than reason. Very important, yes? They say, for example, if you want to convince someone about the dangers of smoking, you come to them and say, oh, if you smoke, this will reduce this many hours or days from your life. It is less likely to work when somebody comes and sees someone who's about to die, who is a smoker, and emotionally is attached, or emotionally cries, or sees that person weeping and crying. Yes? That is much more impactful to make that individual quit the smoking. Yes? Therefore, when it comes to this, the question that is presented is, imagine if somebody is given this task. You are in a room and there is a mayyit in the room who's passed away. Yes, mayyit, to be buried tomorrow, because it's makruh to bury at night. To be buried tomorrow. Yes, and you are given the task, responsibility, to sleep in that room to make sure that there is nothing happening as a security. There is only you and the mayyit in that room. That's it. How many people would sleep in that room? The aql says what? It's a mayyit. Can't hurt me. Nothing will happen. Only in movies. Only in movies things happen. In reality, a dead person is a dead person. The heart says, I'm never going to do it. I am scared. Yes? Most of the people will not do it. Most of the people will not sleep in the same room as somebody who's passed away, because the power of emotion is tremendous within the life of the human being. And the power of emotion really moves the human, really dictates and inspires the human being to make those decisions that they need to. Hence, when you and I connect to what happened 1400 years ago, when we mourn and cry, when we recite these eulogies and masa'ib of the Ahl al-Bayt, it enables us to keep that bond indeed with these holy individuals who gave everything for the sake of the religion. And indeed, it was the likes of Sayyida Zainab, Imam Zain al-Abidin al-Sajjad, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. Who would be the architects and the main people who would start off and emphasize the recalling of the masa'ib and the tragedy of the 10th of Muharram. And likewise, the Ahl al-Bayt, the 6th Imam, the 8th Imam. There would be continuous references where they would ask people, stand up and recite for me what happened in a poetic way, yes? Describe what happened on the 10th. They themselves would describe what happened on the 10th. And I tell you, the 12th Holy Imam himself, Ziyaratul Nahiyatul Muqaddasa, he would describe what happened on the 10th of the day of Ashura on the land of Karbala. Yes. But I tell you, the 12th Holy Imam does not cry like you and I. He does not mourn like you and I. He does not weep like you and I. He says, oh my grandfather Hussein, لَأَنْدُبَنَّكَ صَبَاحًا وَمَسَاءً. I will cry for you in the morning and I will weep for you at night. But my tears, Ya Hussein, are not normal tears. They are tears of blood. وَلَا أَبْكِيَنَّ عَلَيْكَ بَدَلَ الدُّمُوعِ دَمًا. Yes, I will shed tears of blood for you, Ya Aba Abdillah. Stories of the 10th of Muharram. Each and every story is a story that breaks the heart. Each and every story causes people to weep and cry. Yes, whether it is what happened to Qasim, whether it was the battered, whether it was the bruised body of Ali al-Akbar, whether it was the eyes of Abbas and the arms of Abbas, whether it was Ali al-Asghar's arrow in his neck. All these are masa'ib that indeed are tragic, indeed break great sorrow to the hearts. But there is one musibah that is a musibah that has moved so many people. A musibah that is indeed one that the Ahl al-Bayt would weep and cry about. That is special in the hearts of the Shia of Hussein and the Shia of Ali. A musibah about a young 3-year-old daughter of Aba Abdullah. A musibah that one finds difficult to recall, because what is the crime of a 3-year-old daughter of Hussein? One man said that I was in Syria recently. He said that I hated the Shia. I did not like the Shia. But one day I went past a particular gathering of the Shia. I entered to hear what was being said. And I heard the musibah of Sakina bint al-Hussein. He said, when I heard the musibah, I began to cry. That is the moment that brought me towards Shi'ism. I said, you know, this young daughter of Hussein, how strong she was, how beloved to her father she was, how much she wanted her father Hussein, how much she asked for her father Aba Abdullah, how close the relationship was, how much suffering she went through. The narration says on that night of Sham Ghariba, when the women and the children of Aba Abdullah were running from one tent to the other, their dresses caught with fire, their hijab taken away from them. This young daughter of Imam al-Hussein was running from one place to another, crying out, Father, Father, Ya Hussein, oh Father Aba Abdullah, come and see what they have done to us. Where is our protector? Where is Abul Fadl al-Abbas? One narration says, yes, that one daughter of Imam al-Hussein was caught and was seen by a man by the name of Humayd ibn Muslim. This young daughter would say to this man, oh man, have you read the Quran? He says, yes. She said, have you read the verse, وَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ? A yatim, do not hurt the yatim. He says, yes, I've read it. She said, oh man, أَنَا يَتِيمَةُ الْحُسَيْنِ, I am the orphan of Hussein. Please tell me, where is Najaf? Show me, where is Najaf? He says, why? She says, I want to complain to my grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib. I want to say to him what they've done to us. He then says, she asked him, oh man, I beg you, please take me to the riverbank. Take me to Alqami. He says, why? Do you want water? She said, no, I want to see my uncle Abbas. He went to get me water, but he never came back. They say Abbas is next to the Furat. I want to see him. I haven't seen him for the last few hours. Tell me, where can I find Abbas? How will I find Abbas, and which state I find Abbas? Allahu Akbar. Yes, the narrations tell us on the journey towards Kufa, on the journey towards Sham, Imam Zayn al-Abidin was approached. He was told that the head of Aba Abdullah, which was on a spear, it would not move. They tried to move it, it doesn't move. They said to him, why does it not move? He said, it's because a daughter of Aba Abdullah is missing. Go and find her. They look towards the desert, they saw this young daughter of Imam al-Hussein walking back towards Karbala, crying out, Father Hussein, I saw you the last time in Karbala. Maybe I will find you there. They came and said to her, come with us, please. She said, I beg you, take me to Karbala. Take me to my father. I don't want to go anywhere. They forced her. They then slapped her. They then hit her. Then they forcefully took her away. Allahu Akbar. She went asking and asking, where is my father, Abu Abdullah? Where can I find my father, Hussein? In Sham, this young daughter of Imam Sakina, she would be looking at the children happy. She would be seeing children walking in the streets. She said to her Auntie Zainab, why are these children happy? They said, Zainab said, because they are going back home. They are going back to their houses. Sakina said, Auntie, please take me home. Take me to Medina. I saw my father in Medina happy. Hussein was in Medina happy. I want to go to Medina. In the dungeons of Yazid, Sakina cries and cries. She cries, oh Father Hussein, where can I find you? Oh Father Hussein, my heart is empty for you. Oh Father Hussein, I feel nothing without you. The narration says to us that she fell asleep. In her sleep she saw her father, Abu Abdullah. He came next to her. He said, Sakina, come next to me. You are soon to see me. She was so delighted. She woke up, but she saw there was no Hussein. There was no Baba. There was no father. She looked towards Sayyidah. She said, where is my father? She cried and wailed. Her voice was loud. Yazid heard the cries of this daughter of Imam. Why is this crying? What is going on? The narration says they told him, this is the daughter of Hussein who is looking for her father. He says, take the head and let her see her father. Allahu Akbar. They brought the head of Imam al-Hussein covered in a bowl. They presented it to this young daughter of Imam. She said, I don't want any food. I am not looking for any water. I want to see my father. They lifted the covering. She saw the head of Imam al-Hussein on this bowl. She lifted the head of Abu Abdullah. She saw blood on his face. She started to rub the face. She started to remove the dorsal soil. She saw turab on the face. She cried, Wa father, Wa Hussein, who is it that severed your head? Who is it that's made me an orphan? Hussein, my father, Hussein. Why, oh why am I an orphan, Hussein? Why, oh why I have been deprived from you, Ya Abu Abdullah. She hugged the head of Imam. She began to cry and cry until no one heard any cries. Imam Zain al-Abidin stood up and said, my auntie Zainab, come and take the body of my sister Sakina. My auntie Zainab, the soul of Sakina has left her body. She did not withstand seeing the head of Abu Abdullah. The narration says Sayyidah Zainab picked up the body of Sayyidah Sakina. She went and asked, is there anyone to wash the body of this young daughter of Abu Abdullah? The women of the Ahl al-Bayt were crying and wailing. Allahu Akbar, what a difficult moment. They were in the dungeons of Yazid. Everyone crying and wailing. Yes, people crying when they see a young daughter in Listen, daughter of the grandson of the Prophet, what a musibah, what a tragedy. Sayyidah passes on the body to a lady who is going to go and wash the body. The lady comes back after a while and says, I'm sorry, I cannot wash the body of this daughter of Hussein. I am sorry, I am not going to wash the body. Zainab said, why? She said, because she is suffering from an illness. She has a skin disease. She said, why? She said, I saw in her body's purple marks. I saw bruises all around her body. Zainab said, this is not a disease. This is the strikes of Shimr. This is the whips of Shimr on Sakina. Oh Sakina, you are quiet. When Shimr weeps you, but you are crying for Hussein. Oh Sakina, how did you withstand the strikes of Shimr? The narration says, when Sayyidah Zainab reached the land of Karbala on the day of Arba'in, she sat next to the grave of Aba Abdullah. She wept and cried and cried. Then she said, oh Hussein, if only you saw what they did to us. They paraded us from one city to another. They caused us to be enslaved. They beat us, they mocked us, they humiliated us. Ya Aba Abdullah, I have some sad news to tell you. Oh Hussein, you gave me your amanat. You told me to look after your amanat Sakina. Oh Hussein, I left your Sakina in Sham. Hussein, I could not bring her with me. Your amanat is all alone. Today there is no one next to Sakina in Sham. مات بحسين يا حسين.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
ये नींद खाक पकैसी उठो उठो बीबी, 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 बेदर जो ख्वाब में आए मचल गई बची, फ़ज़ाए क़ैद हरम की बुका से हिलने लगी, लिपट के बाप के सर से जो मर गई बेटी, लिपट के बाप के सर से जो मर गई बेटी, तो कैद खान में बानू की ये फुगा गूंजी, ये नींद खाक पकैसी उठो उठो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पकैसी उठो उठो बीबी,
फसाने गम फुरकत सुनाओ बाबा को, हुआ जो बाद शहादत सुनाओ बाबा को, सफ़र की सारी मुसीबत सुनाओ बाबा को, सफ़र की सारी मुसीबत सुनाओ बाबा को, लिपट के बाप से खामोश मत रहो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी। बहुत गिला था सकीना तुम्हें अंधेरे का, ये गम रहा के तारीख कैद में कुनबा, ये रंज था कोई चेहरा नजर नहीं आता, ये रंज था कोई चेहरा नजर नहीं आता, हमारे गम ज़दा चेहरों को देख लो बीबी, ये खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी। जो ऐसे हाल में देखे खफा न हो बाबा, ज़रा मैं साफ तो कर दूं ये खून कानों का, न पहन जाओ सकीना फटा हुआ कुर्ता, न पहन जाओ सकीना फटा हुआ कुर्ता, लहू में डूबी ये जुल्फ़ें संवार लो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी। खुले हुए दर जिंदा में ख़त्म रंजो मेहान, तमाम कुनबे के हाथों से खुल गई है रसान, कहाँ गया मेरी बच्ची तुम्हारा शौक़ वतन, कहाँ गया मेरी बच्ची तुम्हारा शौक़ वतन, रिहाई मिल गई जिंदा से घर चलो बीबी, ये नींद खाक पर कैसी उठो उठो बीबी, नींद खाक पर कैसी।
या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, 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 जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। सीने पे सोती थी, हाय हाय, जिस सीने पे सोती थी मासूम सकीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। कर तरस जरा ज़ाले बाबा को न रोऊंगी, मैं गोद में मादर की आराम से सोऊंगी, बेरहम लाइनों ने, हाय हाय, बेरहम लाइनों ने फरियाद सुनी ना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। है मौत की खामोशी तारीख ये जिंदा में, क्या जुर्म किया लोगों मासूम सी मेहमाने, कोई और तो मासूमा है, कोई और तो मासूमा यूं कैद हुई ना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। हर वक्त चमकता था करबल में मदीने में, तावीज़ की मानंद था शबीर के सीने में, गुम हो गया वो कैसे, है गुम हो गया वो कैसे, जिंदा में नगीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। हट जाए ना गैरत से सजाद जिगर तेरा, मेरे घर की ये रौनक है कहता है पिदर तेरा, ये सोच के आबिद को, है ये सोच के आबिद को कुछ होश रहना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना। सजाद जो जिंदा से हो कैद कतम तेरी, जा कहना ये सुगरा से तुमको है कसम मेरी, मैं दफन हूँ जिंदा में, हाय हाय, मैं दफन हूँ जिंदा में, आबाद मदीना, जिंदा में सकीना को याद आया वो सीना।
अस्सलामु अलैकुम या अबा अब्दुल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या इब्ना रसूलुल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या गरीबल गुरबा, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या मुइनज़ ज़ुफ़ा वल फ़ुक़रा, अस्सलामु अलैकुम शम्सिश शमूस, अस्सलामु अलैकुम अनीसन नफूस, अलैका तहियतु वस्सना व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या साहिब अल असर वज़्ज़मान, अल अमान अल अमान अल अमान, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या शरीकल कुरान, अस्सलामु अलैकुम या मज़हरुल ईमान, अस्सलामु अलैकुम इमाम ज़माना हाज़ा अज्जलल्लाहु तआला फ़रजक व सहलल्लाहु तआला मख़रजक व ज़हूरक, जअलना मिन अंसारिक व अवानिक व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।